And welcome back. Today we live in a world where people feel like they can do bad all by themselves. However, the U.S. Surgeon General says we are in a loneliness epidemic. Joining me to talk about the importance of gaining friendships is author and keynote speaker Heather Dugan.
So, Heather, this is our independent show, our freedom show. And of course, many people rely on social media. That's where their life is. But you have to get back out into the real world after the pandemic. So how do you leave those fake, not real friends behind on social media and get to real friends in person?
Right. You are bringing up a really good point. I think we need to look at social media more as a tool, and then we use it in a way that's appropriate, which means, we use that maybe to gain access to the people we really need in our lives. Got to remember that emojis are not the same as a facial expression, and we really need to see each other face to face, which means taking it off of Facebook and all the other social media and actually getting together in person again. Now, a lot of people have had trouble with that after the pandemic, which you alluded to, because we kind of got, we know we need to be with people, but we kind of got out of practice. And if you haven't really been in conversations as much lately, it feels awkward. And if you've been one of those people that's been kind of secluded by yourself, it's very easy to think that there's something wrong with you personally. And you forget that really it's just kind of an outcome of what we've been through. So, the summertime is a great way to get out. We have a lot more opportunities to be around people. And that's a good way to start looking for people that you might connect with, and then to develop the friendships that you do have in real time.
And if you're not one of those individuals, like you mentioned, individuals who are sociable and can have that personal relationship, how do you work your way to being a person who will be easy to meet, a person who's easy to hang out with, a person who would be potentially a good friend?
Yes, and I want to really be clear, I was not always in the place I am now. I wrote the Friendship Upgrade because I was in a very lonely place and had to find my own way back. Before that, I wrote Date Like a Grown-Up because that's where I started with dating. And the friendships really, I say that's the prequel. That's where we really have to start for our foundation. And what I think one of the first things is really, to begin developing your other awareness. When you're alone by yourself, your world kind of compresses down to, what you see right around you. And we forget that, that there's more going on out there and that not everybody is looking at you. We're just sure that, I remember walking into my first PTA meeting as a divorced mom, certain that everybody was staring at me when, they were just busy chatting with the people next to them. But, that was my mindset. And surely that impacted the way I walked into that room. So your other awareness, and then just, small steps are fine. Saying hello to people, really making a conscious effort just to say hi. If you aren't used to doing that, if you're not in the habit, I tell people to begin there. And then as you see people maybe more frequently, if you walk the same path every day, perhaps, you can begin to develop some friendships there, or, at least some deeper conversations. Not everybody is going to click into a friendship, but even those, acquaintances that we make in the beginning are super important, just to remind us that we are human, that we're here and that we're seen. And the best way for others to see you is to let them know that you see them. And go ahead.
And an important point you mentioned there, Heather, was that many people, while you think everyone is thinking about you, everyone's looking at you, people have their daily lives to go on. And even if you're like the best friend or the best family member, I can go throughout my day without thinking about any of those people. So how do you think a stranger is totally just fixated and fascinated with you? And so help you able to go into the public and not think that everyone's thinking about you.
Right. Well, and the thing is, when we're isolated for a period of time, there are cognitive changes that happen in our brains and just being aware of that if you are feeling that way, you need to remind yourself that's not really the reality. They've got a full life and they're probably thinking about a dozen other things.
Stay with us. We'll be right back here on The Factor Uncensored. Welcome back. It's easy to blame other people as to the reason why you don't have any friends. According to relationship expert Heather Dugan, true friendships can begin when you take the first steps.
But when you understand that connection is a biological need,
Mhm.
you aren't asking somebody for a favor, you are offering a mutual gift because it is good for both of you to be connected. You know, our ancestors relied upon social connection just to survive. And our bodies still go into a stress response when we're disconnected from others because it feels like a hazardous situation. And it physically and emotionally is. There's been so many studies on that kind of thing. But when you realize that you're benefiting others too, it's a little easier to go after it, I think. So just, you know, kind of keeping that attitude in mind and keep the stakes low. You know, hello is a great place to start. And then curiosity. Asking questions is always, I think, the best way. I mean, not personal ones. You know, don't walk
Mhm.
up to somebody and say, "Tell me what's going on," and you know, the details of your life. But you know, how's your day going? You know, that's your dog. What kind of dog is that? Anything you can come up with that is a conversation starter.